Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Space Engineers for a little bit. Well, God damn it, Kevin, not now. Not now, okay, young man? I am not in the mood for your nonsense. Well, unless I am. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. Run away, run away, run away. Yes, indeed, in the distance, rapidly retreating is the glory, the beauty, the absolute immaculacy that is the Scarab. It is starting to look genuinely incredible. I am so unbelievably proud of... how well we've done and how far we've come. Oh man, it's actually starting to look like a super base, isn't it? We're not going to run up the ramp just yet. I want to kind of take a little bit of a tour around the outside, just so we can get a real appreciation for just how much we've done with this thing. It is gigantic, and for the love of God, Steve, I need you to chill, man. You are harshing the vibe, sir. Okay, we just need to do a little forceful negotiation here. Ah, yes, the negotiator. Perfect. But this thing looks so unbelievably cool. But we're not done yet. We're not quite done yet. Man, this is the mega base of your dreams, isn't it? Oh, God, it's beautiful. But we're not quite done yet. As I mentioned, we have quite a bit to do, actually. There is a tremendously large amount of greebling to be done on the top here, as well as some more design elements. I've gone through and put down a few minor things. For example, we got a new button panel. It now shows the weather. Nice. And we've got ourselves a little bit of greebling done to the front here, just so we can kind of sort of start the slope heading up. The goal for today is going to be to really finish off the interior. That's including lighting and stuff. But I think we can definitely say we've designed the living space. That is done. Oh yeah, that is out of here. That is good. And we're going to want to complete the rear ramp, which I think is finished. We're going to want the repair the love bug. That'll happen when it happens. Today. Okay, hold on. Whew. 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 Okay, I was having an aneurysm. I don't know why it was so hard to get all the sentences out there. We are going to work on multiple projects today. The most important of which is going to be sorting out the forward thrust and sorting out power generation. Those two things have been on the list here for pretty much the entirety of this series, and I really want to get them done. Forward thrust and VTOL engines are actually part of the same sort of conceptual area, so we're going to do those two. Redesigning the grinders is by far and away the least important right now. I'm going to move it up the list. The sort of priority goes up, but it's also an easy one just to check off. The drone docking bay can't be done until we've designed the outside, and the artillery turret is going to move, so I won't do it until we design the outside. Same goes for the crane. So those things all kind of fall under the same category. The grinders, all I need to do for the grinders is cut off the top here, and then add another piston onto this, and then basically build this again. We just got to extend it out further, that's all. I am pretty happy with the position the ramp comes to. I think it's a good angle. I don't think we can go any further even if we wanted to, but I don't think we need to either. I've gone ahead and just done a little bit of internal design stuff. For example, we've got a hydroponics bay over here. Just lets us access this. You know, there was an empty space back there. And I've chucked in an additional battery behind there as well as a gyroscope. That battery has been named Emergency Battery. It's this one over here, and I'm going to leave it on recharge. Basically, the idea here is that if everything else goes wrong, if we lose power to the entirety of the base, if I forget to do something, we can always just switch this one on and have a little bit of juice to spread around and just get us to like a lake or something, right? Just enough for us to drive, probably not enough for us to use the VTOL engines. Now, I do want to hop in the cockpit real quick because it looks fantastic and get the wheels moving because there is somewhere I would like to go, and it is downhill. Oh yes, that reminds me, there is another thing I would like to add to our task list, and that is to design a observer drone. We'll kind of need the drone docking bay first, but I would love to have an observer drone. I'm going to add that in over here. This would be a very simple, basically a sphere with like 6 thrusters, that one, you know, up, down, left, right, etc. that can just kind of move around with a camera on it and just scout out the area so we know where we need to go. Bonus points if it's able to land and let me place GPS markers. That would be pretty sick too. Right now, my current strategy is to point myself in the flattest direction and go that way. And beautiful, we managed to find ourselves a silver asteroid we can munch down on. A gold one would be very nice as well, but you know what, silver certainly doesn't hurt. We need this to make reactor components at some point. Getting a hold of uranium to run a refinery, run a reactor that's a big ask. But you know what? This is a good start. Go ahead, park up over there, and send down the drills. Before I forget, this was an excellent suggestion that came through. We can change the height of the wheels here to affect the height of the ramp. That's a much more sane way to do it than playing with the limit on the rotor, because we've seen what that does. So I think, yes, we're going to increase and decrease the height offset. So if I'm here, I can... Yeah, there we go. So now that should have connected here. Almost. One more. Yeah, this is the way to do it. That's the way it's done. Perfect. Yeah, we got a good chunk of silver. Pretty happy with that. So we can raise it back up and raise the ramp. We need to start doing some big brain thinking though, so that we can work out where we want everything to go. I mean, for starters, right, we're going to need to put in some armor here so that that's covered up and, well, protected in quotation marks. The thin light armor blocks don't exactly do much. But then I'm thinking, you know what, this would be a pretty cool place to put a vertical window. I know I wanted to have this as my attachment point for the VTOL stuff, and we might still do that, but wouldn't this look really cool too? I think it would. Let's try it out. It was what I would say if I had planned this properly, because I don't have any fuel. Well, not for long, Karen. There we go. There we go. I think that looks pretty sick. Yeah, little vertical window. I've never used them like that before, but I really like that. Oh, I really like that. Oh, I really like that. Let's greeble this guy. Let's greeble this guy with windows. In fact, you know what? Being honest here, I think this is the perfect time to say go gadget time-lapse and get magic in on here. So, well, as the kids say, go gadget time-lapse. And there we go, time-lapse complete, and man, does that thing not look a whole lot cooler. This is a real MCV at this point. This is a mobile construction vehicle for sure. So let's go ahead and swoop in a little closer and see what we achieved during that time-lapse. First things first, we built up the grinders. They are now longer, which means that they can actually reach the targets that we want them to. That is a pretty big plus. It's, you know, wasn't exactly a massive rework, but it has solved the problem. The ramp is now completely functional, and we've got all of this awesome interior space. So we designed the interior in episode 11, that's done. But what we have now is a whole bunch of lighting, which looks really cool. Unfortunately, we did not get this in the time-lapse because of lightning. That's right, Magic had a massive storm roll through while we were recording, and the poor guy wasn't able to finish his edge of the time-lapse, but we can go ahead and come up here. As you can see, we got all the hydroponic bays up there with a nice, that's a door control. And then, of course, the elephants, plural, in the room. These two gigantic thrusters on pivot arms, which are almost certain to tear themselves apart as soon as the opportunity presents itself. But we're going to try our best to keep them alive. These are going to be the Scarab's wings, quote-unquote, and they will kind of act like VTOL engines. In fact, they will. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be VTOL engines. So these two rotors should provide a pretty significant degree of rotation. I don't know how the VTOL script is going to cope with them, but we will. I guess there's only one way to find out. So far, I've managed to get a button set up over here in this nifty little support strut. When things are all folded up, it does actually look quite neat. We're going to open up the nest. There we go. Opening up, cracking open that shell. And let's fold up the rear. Man, this thing is it really is coming together very nicely. It does need a paint job. That is the sort of the final step. And then we need to give that Rover over there some love as well. But this is the start. So as you can see, the engines fold out, no problem. What we need to do now is make sure that they cannot rotate in that direction. So we can't allow the tip of the engine to rotate to the right, or this one to the left, because it will catch itself on the vehicle. It has to rotate left and work its way down there. So, I mean, I guess we're going to have to do that with limits, which is a terrifying thought, given flashbacks to the ramp. Oh, god damn it. Alright, so negative velocity. Okay, cool. So we've done it. We've done it actually already. So yeah, it can't go any more than 0, which is excellent. That's all we needed. Alright, so it can't rotate in that direction. We do need to set out a bottom limit though, which I'm assuming probably incorrectly. Okay, yeah, see, this one is positive, which is no bueno. So we actually need the upper limit to be 0 on this rotor. This one's going to be inverted. So the upper limit will be 0, which means that the lower limit here needs to be -1. Please don't kill yourself. Whenever I hit backspace before hitting enter, because you got to like enter the chat to type, it's a bit gimmicky, but it works. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, so we'll leave a rotational sort of velocity of 1 on there, and then rotate, and that's what I was worried about. Yeah, it doesn't clear. Honestly, I'll be real with you, I think that means that we just do some surgery here, because these are more important than a yield module. So let's see if that can clear now. It can. It can. Okay, excellent. We will just cover that with armor. Asymmetry is the spice of life, baby. And that does give us back some superconductors, which are pretty handy. I have no idea. I've just realized I have absolutely no idea if this thing can even fly. Like, none whatsoever. I guess we're about to find out, huh? Okay, so that rotates successfully, which means if I hit reverse, it should traverse successfully in the other direction. Let's just make sure. Yes, it is. Okay, excellent. And that puts them back in the stowed position, you see. Because we could stow them the other way. We could stow them with the engines facing up. But I kind of like the way it looks. Listen, adding complexity to make it look cooler is kind of the whole point of this game. Alright, so then this one is going to a positive angle, which means that this number needs to be just 180. Okay, so now I need to name these. These are going to be... Oh, please don't kill yourself, buddy. It's not that hard. Okay, this is going to be the wing engine rotor, and this one is left, which means that this one here will be right. Okay, which means that I guess I'm gonna call these the pivot rotors. But we've also got to set the same thing. We can't allow them to go too far in either direction. They can go at most 180 degrees, right? We are not going to be controlling this ourselves. No. This is going to be handled by a script. A very old, very outdated, very likely to tear itself apart script. The right wing pivot rotor. Call that the European Parliament. Okay, and is the braking torque so significant? It's maybe. I am very, very certain that this is just going to tear itself apart. Maybe we don't use the the rotor script. I'm a little bit worried it's just gonna smash itself upon the rocks. See, like, a compound angle, like 45 degrees here, is where we'd want to be for reverse thrust. And then the opposite of that would be the ideal for inverse thrust. Those are all words. And then you need to rotate. I'm trying to work out the order of operations here. We might have to do some of this with timer blocks, which is a terrifying thought because I'm so bad at setting them up. Is that going to be enough to get us off the ground? I really don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Okay, right wing engine rotors. We're going to call that the wing engine rotors. Engineer. I'm a space engineer. There we go. He has deployed. This one's really struggling. Have we done something to the torque here? No, it's about as high as it normally is. Oh, it's because the velocity is not fast enough. Alrighty, excellent. So, hypothetically, all I need to do now to reverse this, let's just get some jetpack fuel and then we'll decide. All I need to do now to reverse this is just to hit those buttons and it should fold itself back up. So the idea here, the mad science here, is to kind of hit a button, the rotors deploy themselves, we'll use these buttons here, and then turn on the engines and see if we can levitate. And I have a strong feeling I need to hit a save before we do this. Okay, so it'll be outer rotors, then the pivot rotors, and then the engine rotors. And we probably should all just do this with a timer block, but it's okay. Okay, and then we've got the wing thrusters, and then the final button here will be turning the thrusters on. And I am completely convinced this thing is just going to rip itself apart. Okay, let's fold it up and see if this works. Oh no, we don't have to fold it up, right? Let's just hit a quick save. Okay, and turn on the engines. Alright, they are thrusting. They are thrusting. That one's on. This one is fighting demons. Jesus Christ. Okay, are you damaging the... You shouldn't damage the wheel. Are you damaging that wheel, or was that just not built? Oh. See, a small problem. Well, it's a good thing we saved. Wait, get in there, get the gyros, get the gyros, get the gyros, get the gyros, get the gyros. Oh god, I can't get into the cockpit, no! Flawless. I'm not even entirely sure what killed us there. Alright, let's try this from this perspective this time. I've set up a hotbar here with all of the tools we need to get ourselves deployed. I have absolutely no idea whether or not this is feasible, like even what we're trying here, but let's go ahead and... oh no! In my nightmares, a mighty chasm has appeared before my very eyes. Allow me to engage the thrusters. Oh god, it's only the right-hand one. Oh no. And I was gonna say engage the thrusters and escape, but I'm pulling a Tokyo Drift right now. Okay, turn them off, turn them off. The physics engine does kind of give up. I think what's happening here is that the left-hand thruster doesn't know that it is facing downwards. I think it thinks it's facing up, which means that the only way we can actually do anything with this is to change thrust overrides. That's the way we're gonna have to do it. So I'm gonna put a little 5% thrust override. Okay, so the engines are on now. Then look, we're trundling along. What did he do next? He engaged his thrusters to overcome the dangerous unknown signal. He pumped up the thrust override all the way to the goddamn moon, and rapidly started drifting left because of the Kraken. No, please, I mean Clank. Sorry, I forgot to. I didn't want to dead name you. Please stop. No. Oh god, we're spinning in place. Well. I don't know how we... well, you know, that's kind of cool looking on its own, isn't it? Not every day you see the underside of your rover. It's usually a pretty bad day when you do. Well, that's gonna end badly. It does have an incredible amount of mobility for something that effectively weighs 1 trillion tons. Wow. Maybe VTOL is not the way to go here, or better yet, maybe there is a better way to do this. So the plan, I mean, the reason we're doing it with these ridiculous rotors was we wanted the wings to fold up into this space, because it just looks cool. If you guys have a better suggestion for how I can do this, let me know. Because the problem is, right, we could just have a rotor at the end. Oh god, please stop spinning. God. We could just have a rotor right there. Oh no, dodge it. Okay, we're safe. As I was saying, we could just have a rotor at the end of this bit here, not have the second one, but then you can't fit them into the top space, and it just looks really cool. Maybe we just say they're aesthetic wings, you know, they're vestigial. I don't know. I'd love to hear your opinions on this one in the comments and your suggestions for how we can do this. By the way, Discord server is linked in the description. If you want to pop in there, and if you want to like do a paint.com Microsoft Paint rendition of your idea, that would be amazing. It really helps me visualize it. We are very open to suggestions on this one. Man, these dreams are getting out of hand. Okay, we're back in vogue. I'm going to just fold up the whole thing here. Let's just bring it back into the ship. We'll stow it away for now. That's definitely not working. But you know, there is one thing we haven't tried, which is to use the actual VTOL script. Yes, if you didn't know that there is a VTOL script, it says in large friendly letters on the Storm page, do not use this. But, I mean, I can't read. So let's go ahead and find it. It is very outdated. It is almost certainly going to break. Where is VTOL? Oh, did I not sub to it? Okay, we're gonna have to grab it quickly. There it is, Vector Thrust OS. Okay, copy to editor, check code, compilation successful, okie dokie. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, yeah, that's rather predictable. Hey, well, that one thruster figured it out. Okay, we may have too many rotors. I think Vector Thrust is very doable, but we may have too many rotors. Okay, well, again, I'm going to open this one up to the comments. This is a tragedy of nightmares. I'm going to open up the... Wow. Well, the underside's looking pretty good. It's not often you get to see the underside of your rover. It's usually a pretty bad day when you do. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to open this up to the comment section. Let us know what you guys think we should do in order to get this right. I'm going to wake up from my dream now, rather unceremoniously, and we're going to just stow away the stuff and try again later, I think. Alright, as we said, let's just go ahead and I think we're just gonna fold up this lad over here, just stow that away for later. We will probably need to do something with the Vector Thrust OS, which is going to require a different design. We're going to have to sort of build struts coming off this ship that the rotors will then, you know, sort of sit on, and the engines will be a part of it. It's just kind of the way it has to be done. But that's okay. I mean, hold on, what's happening here? I don't know if those are gonna fit, buddy. Although, man, that looks kind of sick the way they're just sort of folded in there. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Look at this. Well, kudos to the game engine for being able to even put that one together. But yeah, there we go. That's that's functional now, I guess. We're gonna just sort of keep moving. I don't need cobalt. I'm looking for boulders, man. I'm looking for boulders. Boulders Gate. Anyway, time to do some roving. It is certainly looking more and more like a beetle with every passing minute, isn't it? I'm pretty happy with the design style we've got going on here. I think it was a bit bland from the back and a bit odd from the sides, but that's kind of the point. Like, it is still a machine, right? Like, it's not meant to look like a bug. It's meant to look vaguely like a bug. And in that sense, we have thrived. Okay, our first chasm. I definitely want to continue heading west, and unfortunately, this is kind of in the way. We're gonna have to engineer our way out of this one. We could build a bridge, or maybe this is where we park up until we figure out what we're doing with these rotors. I do need this ship to be able to fly. It's just a necessity for the way the game generates terrain. Like, we kind of have to be able to fly. Okay, let's park up here and see if we can see a way down. It's a bit of a dark day, isn't it? Maybe should wait for dawn here. See, I think we could get down that slope right there. And we could probably get up that scope over there. Yeah, we could definitely make it up there. But I don't think we can do it without thrusters. We haven't got the torque. Well, in that case, we've got one other thing we can do here before we need to make a decision regarding our thrusters. We can actually head down and update our to-done list. Okay, let's have a look. So, we have certainly sorted out the V forward thrust in that we have not yet at all, somehow. The rough buggy is repaired, but I don't know if it's done. The grinders have been done. That's redesigned and finished. We do not yet have a drone docking bay. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, That's a bit of a problem. We have not redesigned the artillery turret. We have not built a crane. We have not built an observer slash scouting drone, but we have absolutely, finally, dear God, Greeble, Greeble, Greeble. That is, it's done. It's done. It's actually done. I can't believe it's actually done. That is a good feeling. That list is getting longer and longer. Okay, now I think the last piece of the puzzle for today then is going to be something fairly accessible. So we could either do the crane, the artillery turret, or I think I'm going to wait for the crane. I'm going to have to wait until we've got the wings fixed, like sorted out, right? But for the... we could either build an observer drone, but I think I'd rather have the docking bay ready to go. Maybe we do just have to get the roof back, because it's a good place to put that, right? Yeah, I guess we just kind of have to get the roof back. So we're gonna have to scrap the VTOL idea that I've got going on now, but that's okay. I still love your suggestions on how we can do it. What we can do though is we can redesign the artillery turret. We could do power generation, and I think power generation is probably the one of the two that I'm more interested in working on right now. So let's go ahead and figure that out. Basically, we need to figure out where we can stick some solar panels so that we got at least some passive power generation on this thing at all times. Call me crazy, but I think the front of the ship is actually a pretty sick place for just that. Also, I'm gonna pack up this turret, because it doesn't work. Whoops. With each rotor we remove, this thing becomes slightly more stable. Right, so the nice thing here is that unlike a space-based solar array, we don't need to worry about tracking the sun vertically. We just need to worry about tracking the sun from horizon to horizon, east to west, right? And as long as we're driving east to west, we will always get a... as long as driving north-south, we will always get a pretty good amount of power. So we only need to angle it really in one direction. We could do two, but I don't think it's necessary. That being said, it would be kind of sick. I am also very aware that I don't want it to look stupid, which is going to be hard. We could put it out towards the back, but then it might interfere with where our drones land. Also, these need to be cut off. This isn't going to happen. I've resigned myself to it. I'm no longer in denial. I'm taking them apart. Okay, gorgeous. That's done. Now, let's clean up the rest of this. Oh, you know, I'll leave that button panel there just because it's kind of cool. Or, you know, better idea here. Let's just put it back down, I suppose. Button panel. There we go. You know me, I'm a sucker for a sci-fi button panel. I just kind of like the way this thing fits. I don't know if that's gonna stay. Oh, actually, probably can't stay there because we need to build a drone bay here at some point, right? So, but yeah, that was a pretty nifty way to put a button panel upside down on a space. If you ever need to do it, now you know how to. I am going to just tear this apart. I am still taking your inputs on how we go about this. I can always build these again. It's just for now, I want the space back so I know where I can put the solar panel. We're probably not going to be able to push it out the way I wanted to, so please let that factor into your design. Sorry for the back and forth on this, it's just, I'm learning too. But at the same time, that's sort of the fun of space engineers, right? Is figuring out silly designs and then, you know, trying to make them work. I genuinely don't think the game's engine can do what we're asking it to do. Like, I think it's just a little bit too much, and that's fair. It is, in fairness, like a six-fold compound angle that I am then adding an enormous amount of torque to in a game that's not really designed to do that kind of thing. The physics engine, honestly, even staying alive throughout that process was commendable on its own. Alright, so with the space recovered, it does mean we can change the shape of the back here too, which is kind of cool. We could, I think this then is going to become our drone bay. Which means that potentially, anyway, we could do a solar array off the back here. The only thing I'm conscious of is that if it rotates, if it's going to rotate sort of west to east like this, you know, like sort of side to side, we're going to have to set pretty tight limits on it, which is fine because it only ever really needs to go like 30 degrees in order to match the sun's angle, because we're going to be flat, right? It's not, we don't have to go 360. We're not in space. So, I guess we just do a rotor. So yeah, I want to use these, just because I think it'll look a lot cooler. So we would have that guy, right? And you know what? At that point, this might as well just be an advanced rotor. Maybe at some point we want to pass materials through there, and this way we have the option without having to redo it all. So just make it an advanced rotor. See, I'm learning. I'm learning. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. That'll work. So we're going to go from there and we're going to have just a small solar array that can pivot back and forth. That's the idea here. So I guess we go, yeah, conveyor pipes, just standard. Let's just get the sizing right. Bring it to about there, and then we can cap it. Ah, yes, and we do need attachment points, don't we, dummy? And then I think I want the colorable solar panels, these big ones. They serve exactly the same function, but you can sort of stylize them a little bit more. Just a tiny bit. Enough that, you know, makes me feel special. Okay, is that what we're going with? Is that it? I don't know if that's it. It's not overly insectile, is it? No, it's a bit boring. There is a way to fix this, and it's going to look a little silly, and I'm super down for it. And it's to move this all out by an additional space. Check this out. I did something similar in Suit Only Survival, which, by the way, if you haven't seen yet, is probably something you might enjoy. There we go. Yeah. Give it the prongs. I don't know why, that always reminds me of Star Wars whenever I see a design like that. Yay! And the nice thing about these ones is we can color them in. Alrighty, there we go, done. Now there are two ways we can go about setting up the solar tracking. There is the scripted way, which I've done a few times in my series, and then there's the way that everyone always tells me to check out, which I've actually never done. So let's do that one. We're going to pop off the end cap here, and I'm going to try my best to replicate what people have told me to do, which is to build a turret controller, and since we don't have that artillery turret, we've got a good place for it now. Build a turret controller, and using the turret controller, design an end piece, basically, that has a camera on it that will look for the sun. Now, our camera needs to face up at all times. That's just, you know, what we're going to be looking for. So let's do something like this. I don't know why, now I'm thinking about it, I don't know why I removed the end cap. We don't need that. What we need is a singular block, sort of just right there, that has a camera on it, right? And that we can put the camera on there. It should look at the stuff. I believe that the orientation of the camera is important. I mean, again, I'm completely in the dark here, so if I'm wrong, please don't let me know. My ego can't take it. Does make me wonder why the pipes are there. So maybe it looks a little stupid after all. Okay, now we'll do it with the pipes. Fine, twist my arm, break it in half. Why don't you? Beat me up with hammers. Yeah, apparently that's not somewhere I'm allowed to put the camera. It's fine. I didn't want to put it there anyway. I'm loving every... Oh, how am I dead, dude? Yeah, the physics engine has also kind of just given up. It is very hard to do anything at this point with this many rotors and hinges and pistons running. Oh god, space engineers, please just spawn me in with inertial dampeners on, and oh, that's a sad sight. That's a real sad sight. Oh, Kevin, no, not now, Kevin. What was I doing before the psychosis? Ah, yes, hydrogen. There has been an upside to continuously dying, which is that we're getting a bunch of free tools. You know, all that nickel goes a long way. That will do. That will do, pig. Okay, then. I guess we're just going to have to cope with the endless shame of using a half block in the daylight. I guess we'll do it just there, like so, and then the camera can plop right there. I don't know if the orientation matters, but I will face it away from the ship. Okay, cool. So with that done, we should then, hypothetically, be able to go in here, hijack that artillery turret controller we set up previously, this one over here, and change what it does. Okay, we don't need the solar panels in the terminal or the toolbar config. This can be the solar tracker. Here we go. I don't know what that piston's for. Oh, where's the rotor? Where's the advanced rotor? There we go. This is going to be the solar rotor. Solar rotor. There we go. We don't need to see that in toolbar. We don't really need to see that in terminal either. And you are going to be the solar controller now. We want an azimuth rotor to be the solar rotor, right? And we want the assigned camera to be the solar tracker camera. And then I should be able to say, just look at the sun. Okay, now how do I do that part? Ah, always aim at sun. There we go, turn that on. What have I done? Ah, yes. Right. The rotor limits. Okay, so probably I'd say 30 degrees. So negative 30 degrees is going to be our lower limit, which means our upper limit is going to be 150. Because it's 180 degree rotation, right? So we can give it some speed. Oh! That does not work the way I ever think it's going to. So then this should just be 30? So we're doing a 60 degree travel. Yeah, I guess that's just got to be 30. Okay. Turns out, I don't understand how rotors work. I think we've demonstrated that rather effectively over the past 2 episodes. Okay, so now I should, hypothetically, be able to just turn that thing on and it'll go look at the sun. Yes. Yes. Excellent. Okay, and they've all got full sunlight. You don't have to look exactly at the sun in Space Engineers. You just got to be within like 5 degrees, and you're fine. Oh, fantastic. Okay. It doesn't look terrible. I mean, I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it, but we do need power, and it's providing power, so I'm going to call that good enough. I don't love it, though. I don't. But I am going to add power generation, finally, off the list. Less macaroni indeed. Can't believe that's done. Oh, you know what? Treat yourself. Boom. So, that's pretty much it then. We have successfully done a huge chunk of the backlog here. The greebling was definitely the biggest part of the work today. Having that done is amazing. We do need a small drone bay. We do need to be able to stow drones. And honestly, they'll fit up here, right? They'll fit up here. It'll be fine. We're just going to have to repurpose that space. Then I guess that means that the wings will be built off the sides. It'll make them a bit less flat, which is cool. Yeah. Dude, I don't really want to lose this, but it is a shame that we will have to. Or we just say, you know what, the VTOL thing is not happening. It would be super cool, but maybe that's just not an option for us. I'm going to do some roving now, and that doesn't make for particularly interesting content, except as a montage. So I'm going to do a bit of roving, and I will see you guys much further away from here than we currently are. Yeah, but we do need to get down over that canyon at some point. I kind of want to... You know what? We're just heading south. That's our new orientation. We're going to head straight south at all times, and that's what we're aiming for. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. Thank you all so much for watching Rover Quest with Magic and I. It has been a real journey, this series. We've learned a lot about what the game engine can and cannot handle. For example, floating is apparently back on the menu, boys. You love that. You love to see it. There is so much torque and random phantom forces imposed on this vehicle at this point that I'm not sure if we will ever be able to fully recover, but you know what? It does feel good to be trying. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I will be seeing you all in the next one. Cheers. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm beginning to see why this is taking so long to get anywhere. You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations and thank you. That puts you in the top 3% of viewers. Here's another video that YouTube thinks you're going to like, and here is a list of all the patron and channel member names. If you don't see yours on there, you can find a link down in the description where you can sign up and support this content directly. If your name is on there, well, you probably already know that, huh? So, what are you still doing here?